Hey, coaches, and welcome back to part three of play calling in the shotgun wing T offense. I am Coach Chase Thompson. If you are just joining us, this is your first video, I would recommend going back to part one of the series so you can kind of get an idea of what the purpose of this YouTube video series is. This week, we are playing against a team for the first time that I felt like we really had the competitive advantage against them, particularly our linemen versus their linemen. And so you'll see we take advantage of that pretty early and often. Um, I Last year we played these guys, and I believe that I really overcomplicated the game plan. And last week, if you watch part two, I really started out running a concept that the kids weren't familiar with. They didn't have a chance to really get good at, and so it was a very sloppy start. And I could have done a better job on that as the coordinator. And so here we're going to be very simple at the beginning of the football game. Some things that are different about the team this week that you should know that's different from weeks 1 and 2. Number one, our starting tight end is back, and he's a guy that's very important to the offense. He's very good at setting the edge on the perimeter, and really good with his communication. And something else you'll notice is that our freshman wing, is getting better. We always knew that he would get to this point, but it has taken several games to get him there, where he can do it full speed on game day. Our quarterback, though, however, got injured in the previous video in part two. And so we are playing our running back at quarterback, which, is really good for your quick side running game, but also an empty for your strong side running game. And we are playing our backup running back here, our converted D lineman to running back. So we figured out that we would lose our quarterback pretty late in the week. We realized that he wasn't going to be able to go. And so we did on Thursday put together a small package where we take our slot and put him in the backfield as a two-back set, just so we could use our slot as a different option to run some of our concepts. So that way it wasn't just the quarterback and running back having to handle the load. We wanted to get our slot involved and get the ball in his hands, because if you remember in part two, he's the guy that scored for us on a really big drive. The previous video on the reverse. So let's start with play number one here. We're not going to overcomplicate things and just run power. And you can see pretty immediately, okay, the advantage we have, our front blocking their front. Now, certainly we would like our quick tackle, okay, to set more inside and tough against this guy wanting to rush around the edge. Okay, him running around the tackle is not scary in strong side run game. Okay, he kind of jumps out there, and it's probably a little bit too much, and he almost gets beat across his face here. Okay, a guy that's a little bit twitchier probably jumps in there and makes a play on that. Okay, but overall here, we run a simple run play on play one. A little bit of miscommunication in the backfield here. Okay, the back is supposed to get the ball running this direction. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what the quarterback saw here. Like I said, we are notoriously slow starters here. So a little bit of miscommunication before the play, but the quarterback ends up sorting it out and running where the back should have gotten the ball, and ends up getting a really explosive play on what should be a very comfortable play to run to start the game. Okay, so here's our two-back set. Okay, we're putting our slot over on the strong side, and we're playing our wing over on the quick side. Okay, and we did this just to run jet sweep to our slot here into the boundary. And so you'll see it's blocked mostly well. Little bit of an issue here. We would love it if our guard, okay, our quick guard, okay, had better reach technique fundamentals, meaning that we want him to get his hips outside of his hips and use his body as a fence. Here, this guy is able to shrug off our guard and our center working to him, and is able to come in and make a little bit of a play here on our slot, okay, to make him have to cut it up a little quicker than he needed to. Had we got our hips around here on this block, okay, and we go 1-for-1 out here on these guys, however this sorts out, it could have been a score here on the second play. But overall, decently blocked. Okay, good effort for something we threw together on a Thursday. Okay, so now it's still our two-back set here, but we put our wing back on the strong side, And we decided to do this to give us a little bit of counter flair as far as our slot working across to the backside end and being able just to run our strong side run game where he normally runs it over here. So we just tagged it with X. Our slot came across and got in the way of the end. Okay, didn't make any impactful blocks over there, but at least we showed a back going across, which created some hesitation out of these guys. And we got in the way of the backside end trying to run us down, which is really when you feel like you have the competitive advantage, all you really need. Here you can see just how important our tight end has been to us and how much we've been missing this. Hey, look at how he seals the end right here, gets his head across and runs him down the line. Okay, I understand this guy kind of gives up a little bit on this clip. Okay, but he was really good setting the edge for us, and we were very thankful to have him back. Notice our wing here is getting better. Notice how there is no space between him and the tight end. His hand is on his back. He's working flat on his down block. Now he needs to transition to his second level down block technique and work up to the backer. Okay, but you see he's taking the coaching, okay, and he's getting better at his technique. Had this guy slanted outside, the wing would have stayed on it. The tight end would have worked to the backside backer, okay, and all would have been good. Okay, so our guys are getting better here. Now, ball security gets a little scary here. We swing the ball out real wide. Definitely don't want to see that. However, back has just a ton of space to run through and is running hard down to the 5-yard line. Okay, this alignment we also felt like was good for GT because we could pull the guard and tackle. And against even front, we could use our slot to go get in the way of the end you normally can't block. So here on the goal line, we decided to say solid on the front side, so that way they can't run through on us. Okay, and use our 2-back GT counter here around the goal line. Now, the outside contain man slow plays us a little bit. Okay, I don't like how much depth we're getting here at guard. He's used to pull wrapping, so he's in a little bit of a bad habit here. But, however, we do get on him and get a good seal. Okay, our tackle does make the trip and find somebody in the alley to get. He misses them a little bit, but overall the back makes a good cut. And when you're playing against guys that are running sideline to sideline, okay, you can punch it in. So, decently blocked right there. Okay, certainly a very good block by our strong tackle and tight end. I mean, look at our tight end drive this guy down the line all the way to the backside. Really, really good. Something we'd really been missing, and we were glad he was back for this game. All right, 2-point conversion. Hey, we instead of running GT here, we just ran our version of buck sweep. Okay, with the X tag, that's our slot going to the backside end. Again, I don't think our wing is tight to the tight end this time. Okay, I would like to see him working tight off the tight end to this backside backer. Okay, we don't want him to have to make one-on-one blocks on the perimeter against loose defensive ends. So this clip starts in the middle, so it's hard to say exactly what happened, but I know the kick man ends up getting involved in the wing's trying to down block, which is always very muddy for your back. Luckily, we get enough push, okay, that we're able to punch it in anyways for the 2-point conversion here, but a little more muddy than I would like. All right, like we said, we're playing our typical running back at quarterback here, and so quick belly was a little bit more of an option for us this week. Here we bring our wing in motion. Now I'd like to see him be a little bit tighter to the quarterback so that fake is more believable. Okay, I don't know if I'm buying that fake. However, the quarterback is able to hit a pretty good seam. Now, we're asking our tackle, okay, to play the inside shoulder right here. The jet fake will carry him wide enough for the quarterback to hit this thing inside of you. However, we just need a little bit more contact at the point of attack. We're trying to get him to take his left foot and step vertical with it and use his hips in the hole and the outside run presence from the jet motion, okay, to take care of this guy and build the alley. Now, I think he probably needs a step wider of a split. Okay, quick belly is a split play. If you don't have splits, he will never be able to run it inside. Okay, so not the best technique there from our quick tackle, but just enough. Our back does a good job slipping a block. Also, something to note, okay, the guys on the backside really matter. Our tight end needs to know that in quick belly, the ball is going over here to our quick side. Here, our tight end engages with the man in front of him, but doesn't play with the concept, okay, that we need to have our hips inside so that way he can't beat us across our face. He'll never make the play going this way. but he will make the play falling in that way. And so here, that's our coaching point on this play, is for this guy to stay attached to that block, and get your hips inside. Here, our running back also has a bit of a bust. Like I said, he's a converted D lineman that we've got at running back. So he's learning on the fly here, a little trial by fire. Okay, certainly on quick belly, we want him to insert where the guard inserts right here into the to the B gap bubble. I think this is the only time he makes this mistake. Okay, he cleans it up pretty fast. Okay, but those things happen. So now we get an empty. Okay, we really want to use our quarterback as a weapon, and our starting tight end now is tired. Okay, he's not in shape. So we got our backup guy in there right now, and he's still a baby. He's still learning how to play tight end. And so we start to have, again, some issues with our tight end and wing handling the end correctly. We keep on wanting to work like a combination block where we chip him and work to the backside backer and try to get the best of both worlds. And we never want a combination block on buck sweep. He's either inside of you on your down block track or he's not. It's very black and white before the play. And so you'll see here our tight end steps down, but just gets a little push and tries to go to the second level. Okay, we don't want both. We either want the down block or we want the steps of a down block to the second level. So here, this is something that we've got to coach on film to make sure that he takes care of. Our wing here gets a little bit too much space in between him and the tight end, but he's at least taken his down path. Had we took care of the end right here, I mean, look at all this grass out here for the back to run through. So our quarterback ends up slipping this guy and ends up getting something here. But this is something we need to come back to an empty. So we come back to it immediately. We got an empty strong. This is our running back over on the strong side. And we're just running quarterback buck sweep. And so we told the tight end, hey, if he's inside of you, stay on him. And sometimes stuff gets lost in translation, right? And so our guy stayed on him a little bit longer, but still let him go. Luckily, he is unable to make the play. Okay, but certainly you want your tight end, if there's a man inside of him, okay, in between you and the tackle, to stay on the down block with your head across. Okay, so still things we need to clean up here. Still not perfect, but man, look at the space we've created. Okay, they're crowding the line of scrimmage. Okay, but we're able to do a good job on our gap hinge of cutting off the backside A gap. Okay, our center does a good job of blocking back to the mugged backer. Okay, we love to see that. He's able to work back and diagnose that guy's a threat. Our strong tackle is able to take up enough space after the pulling guard comes through that we really cut off and make a huge pile where they tried to send all that pressure at. So really good job here in empty of being able to get the corner out of the box, okay, and get two big linemen out in front, where your running back can really, or quarterback in this situation, our quarterback can really get into a lot of open space. Okay, we had a penalty here. Our tight end lines up in the backfield. Okay, he comes in off the sideline and gets lined up a little bit late and not on the ball, so ended up not counting for us. If you remember from part 2, we have been inverting our slot and our outside receiver to be able to throw some quick perimeter screens. We knew that we couldn't live like that all season. People were going to catch on to that pretty quick. And so it's in this game we decided that we wanted to throw the quick perimeter screens to the slot in the slot position. So you'll see that he's working some outside receiver footwork here. He's just one step jab and coming to get the ball, which is what we want to do on our outside perimeter screens. Here, as a slot receiver, we would like for him to bubble, okay, and get width away from the inside backers. But luckily, okay, we get enough of a token fake here out of our quarterback and running back that we get a pretty good commitment, and the linebackers are really nowhere near where they need to be to make the play. So we would love to catch this ball outside of the hash over here, so that way we have a chance to hit it with speed and be one-on-one. But still here, our slot is able to get vertical, slip the corner, and drag a guy for a first down. Still doesn't count because our tight end wasn't lined up on the ball. So he just made a play, so we put him in the backfield here and let him run jet sweep. we just felt like we did not want to overcomplicate this game plan because we really felt like we had the competitive advantage athlete to athlete. And so, could we put him out here at receiver and send him in motion and run jet sweep? Yes, absolutely. But we felt like if we just sat him in the backfield and handed him the ball, that good things were going to happen. And so, sometimes just the most simple thing you can do is the best thing you can do. So, we put him in the backfield and ran jet sweep, and we let a fast guy go make plays. And so, you see what your best athletes can do in space. Okay, our running back has to make a pretty tough block on the alley defender. Okay, luckily he gives a little bit of a slip right there, but our back is able to get vertical and make a guy miss and get some good yardage after a penalty. So now it's back to second and reasonable. Again, very trying to be very, very simple against a team we feel like we're better than. Hey, certainly the wing starts good. Okay, tight to the tight end's butt, but we want to see him work back to the backside backer. He stays a little bit too vertical for me, but then he tries to jump back, and it's a little too late. The guy's already wise to where the ball's going. Had he continued on that path and went straight to him, I think he would have had a good seal on that backside backer. Hey, overall here, still a really good job by our tight end. Even though his head's not on the front side where you want it to be, just look at them run him down the line. And man, that's setting an incredible edge for your offense. Okay, the tight end in this offense is so important on these strong side run plays. If your tight end can't down block, then you need to be married to tackle over. Okay, running back is running very hard right here. Lots of guys out in front. Okay, in this situation, we are going tempo, so we had an explosive run, and so our game plan was to come fast to the line and run the same play again whenever we get explosive runs. It was good to us. We never got a second explosive run out of it, but what it did do is catch people trying to sub, and it made them call timeout because their players were not ready for the play. And so, while the play itself wasn't good running it again, the threat of tempo run really gave them issues. So we come up to the line to run buck sweep again very quickly, but they have too many men on the field here. Okay, we come back, we're running quick belly down on the goal line. Okay, not trying to overcomplicate things when you feel like you have the competitive advantage. Okay, no motion, running straight ahead. Okay, our strong guard makes the play around the tackle. Okay, that guy slanted around, so the guard made it all the way around to the C gap, which is fine with me. Okay, good job by the running back realizing that that B gap is covered. Okay, to slip outside and go handle the inside backer from there. Okay, really good job. And boy, that is tough running from your quarterback. I mean, that is a crushing blow. Heck of a touchdown right there. All right, next drive, we want to throw the ball vertical right here. We had been running the ball really well, so we wanted to, on first down, try to stretch the defense vertically. Again, we have a very big receiver. He's a jump ball guy, 6'3", center on the basketball team, and so we knew that we were getting some one-on-ones out here, and so we wanted to get our guy a chance to go get one here on first down. And so we just ran a little vertical concept, and our dude made a play. So really good job. Second down, back to some bread and butter here. Our wing lines up on the wrong side here. Okay, you can run buck sweep without the wing on the strong side, but power is not nearly as good when the wing is not on the strong side. And so I don't recommend lining up like this to run power. However, the defense is also I'm assuming misaligned here. Okay, there's probably no way that they wanted no force defender outside the tight end, and so I think we matched a my bad with a my bad. Okay, able to run it outside off tackle for a decent gain here. All right, so now they start playing super far off. Okay, we're recognizing that on the sideline, so we send in the play just to throw hitches here. Okay, if I'm the quarterback and I see this leverage, okay, I really like what I have to either side, okay, but this specifically looks really good to me over here on the right side. Okay, not sure what the holdup is right here with the quarterback. Okay, maybe he wanted the guy up top and he feels the outside backer expanding a little bit. Um, I really like with how tight this guy is to the box and how he's got to fit outside of the wing. Okay, I really like turning and throwing the ball to the right here. However, the quarterback just takes his time and flips it out there real late. This isn't a guy who's played a lot of quarterback. This is normally our starting running back. So a good job of creating some offense here. Made it a little bit harder than it had to be, but you still got to love the effort. All right, so our slot had done a good job with our perimeter screens last time. They're still giving us super way off coverage. We just decided to throw hitches into it last time. So now we're going to throw just a quick bubble screen out to the perimeter here. Now our slot still is not quite working what we want out of our perimeter screen out of the slot. We would love for him to bubble. But he's so used to being flipped to the outside where he's still working outside receiver footwork. But if the inside backers are really fitting vertical, okay, it doesn't really matter. You can get the ball into his hands quickly on a short throw, and you can have your guy go make a play. So here he just gives a little jab step, makes the safety take a bad angle, and it gets us into the red zone here. So really good play by our slot receiver. Could have been executed a little bit better had we caught the ball out here. Okay, we're probably out leveraging the safety a pretty good bit. Um, you know, Probably gives us a little bit more of a chance to go score right there. Okay, down here on the goal line, we like jet sweep. Okay, people are trying to run vertical through the line of scrimmage. So we usually try to run around it. However, I don't like how our guard here works works backside. Okay, we want to run through the gap and up to the second level. We never want to work backwards on jet sweep. Okay, we'll let the tackle handle that guy. So here, this is a bit of a guard bust for us. We want him to run through the A gap up to the backer. Had that gotten done, okay, I think we're going to punch it in right here in this alley. Okay, we'll go one-on-one with the safety, but our running back against a safety who's standing 5 yards in the end zone, I feel like is a good call for a goal to go play. Okay, we have our freshman wing, and we have not really utilized him, getting him the ball to this point in the season. Okay, we're just trying to survive with having a freshman out there, honestly. And when we got down here, we felt like there was a good chance that we could run crisscross and get him the ball in a place where he can score. And so here we run counter crisscross. Okay, we get the ball to the running back. Running back gives the ball back to the wing. Now, I don't like the path of the wing after he gets the ball. He needs to get vertical and go score. However, he's kind of bobbling the ball and he's taking a wide path and he almost runs himself into trouble. I don't know how this guy doesn't make the play out here, how the kicked end doesn't make the play. However, still a good job. Our freshman goes and scores. It's a really exciting moment for him. Our kids were pumped up for him. So yeah, that's kind of what it's all about, man. Next drive, we come through and we wanted to run some sprint out passing game. Again, we're just getting super far off coverage. Okay, you've got to be able to take advantage of that. Okay, make the defense do something else. If you're going to put everybody in the box up on the line of scrimmage, okay, you got to take what the defense gives you. And here that is place the perimeter. So this is just a smash concept. Again, we're sprinting the quarterback to it. The quarterback should know pre-snap. Okay, this safety, this corner is so far off that the hitch is automatic. Okay, the ball should be out of his hands already right now. Okay, I'd be fine if he just took a quick gather to the right and threw it. He doesn't need to really press the issue to try to get width all the way to the sideline here. Okay, this is a very easy read. So I don't like the timing the quarterback throws the ball with here, but I do like that he's able to make a good throw, and our big receiver can drag some guys here for a first down. So taking what the defense gives you is very, very important. See, it makes them tighten up, and when you have a jump ball guy, one-on-one guy, okay, that creates opportunities for you to throw the ball vertical to get what you really want. Here we're just running buck sweep. A really good job by our tight end. Okay, our tight end sets a really good edge, and we're able to get around him. Okay, our kick guy, the guy's trying to spill him a little bit, trying to slow play it, but not good enough. He kind of gets stuck. Okay, our guard's able to get inside and doesn't really have anyone to get. Okay, our back here just running through a lot of green grass. Really well executed. Okay, so we saw the tight coverage on our 6-3 guy before the play where they had tightened down a little bit. And so we came back after the explosive run, thinking we were going to try to throw the ball vertically towards tighter coverage to our 6-3 guy. And of course, now we're getting triple teamed over here. Everybody in the world's looking at him. So not a great play call for what they transitioned to. But luckily, our quarterback realizes that this guy's vertical ball is not going to happen. Okay, they're showing too much leverage out here to our vertical threat, and he finds our freshman wing here on the little out route on the fade out. So, good job for our quarterback there, checking it down and making a good decision. Okay, and good job by our freshman wing getting his first taste of getting the football this game. Up 24-8, we feel like we can spread the ball around to some different guys here. So good job on him. Good job on the Q. We run a little bit of GT right here. We like GT when guys are mugged up close to the D line because it keeps you solid on the front side. People can't get after your strong guard this way. So here you see kind of how we're working our and we try to make this like a sprint draw handoff almost. The running back is too impatient here. I'd like to see a 1-2-3 and then come back to handle this end. But however, we put the wing on the quick side here to be able to wall off the wing. So it ends up being able to work out in this scenario that the running back is too fast. Now, what we don't like, okay, is we get kind of stuck on the end here. Okay, he gets penetration into the backfield and cuts off our tackle. Now, luckily, we're able to still get around it, but our tackle just doesn't make the trip all the way across here. When you do GT, you have to really work with the guard being on one level and the tackle being on another level. So that way they can both make the trip if traffic shows up like this. So this is a good teaching moment for if you want to run GT in this offense. Okay, you really want to teach those guys to be on separate levels. Our wing's job on GT is to always block the quick side end. So in this game, we're trying to be very, very simple because we feel like we have the competitive advantage. We just went ahead and put him on the quick side so that way he doesn't have to work all the way across to come make it. Or put him in the backfield where he's got to come across and make it. We just put him in front of him and said, that's your guy, go block him. Now, he does get beat across his face a bit, but it was enough to spring us to go ahead and get the first down. Okay, trying to pound the ball ahead. Here we have another running back enter the game. We got two in. So we're trying to get different guys the football here up in the second quarter, 24-8. We hand the ball here on power, and the back's eyes just jump inside a little too quickly to look for the cutback. He really had success in practice at jump cutting and getting out of the back door. And I think he kind of relied on that a bit too much here, takes his eye off the ball, and we fumble here on the goal line and they pick it up. So unfortunate, get an extra 6 points right here and going up 30-8 or 32-8 had we got the 2 point would have been really, really good for us. So unfortunate stall to the drive here, but still you can see the vision here. Certainly you don't want your center to get beat like this. Okay, he's got to get his head across. Okay, you start seeing people get incredible jumps on you like this when you start need to going on two or freeze plays or whatever it is that you do here. We were looking for ways to try to get our 6-3 guy the ball here, but you can see they're double teaming our big guy. So, we're kind of forced to run the ball here back to the strong side. Just situation probably where we need to go on two on third down to try to shorten up that goal to go distance. Something to think about. Okay, next drive. Again, Cannon, okay, our freshman wing, is getting better, still not quite all the way there. Okay, we'd like to see him take his right foot and step right to the butt of the tight end and work tight off of him. Okay, there should be no space in between him and the tight end. The wing here is kind of inserting like it's power, and maybe he thought the play was power, and that's why he's doing that here. But here, this is buck sweep. Again, the force defender is trying to run through the C gap, which makes the corner have to come up and fit, which he does not want to do. And so, really good play here. Now, we end up throwing the bubble on this, which, um, probably not the best RPO decision for the quarterback. Okay, we have incredible leverage right here. I would love to see the quarterback, even though you've got off coverage and you can get the bubble out there, I would like to see the quarterback go ahead and hand this ball off here. But we do give him the opportunity to throw the bubble out there every once in a while. And had we caught it, it would have been a good play. Now, if you're going to throw the bubble, okay, your tackle has got to be good on knowing when you're going to throw the bubble, you got to base the end. Because if you gap hinge it, your quarterback's going to take a hit in the mouth if he doesn't shuffle with the run. Okay, so this is something that you have to keep in mind, where if you want to throw those RPO bubbles, that you take care of that end. Because here the end ends up smashing our quarterback. Okay, here we're running our quick belly. We're showing jet sweep with the wing. Again, the wing needs to be tighter. Okay, and he needs to swish the gap in between the inserting running back, okay, and the quarterback right here. So I don't like the depth of the wing on his motion right here. Okay, but nonetheless, we're running the ball into just a huge open void right here. Okay, he sees Jet, he's flying high to go get Jet, and creates a really, really good play for us. Okay, our guard does a good job at blocking this guy down. Our running back and our backside guard are able to make it through the gap really, really easily. Okay, you'd love to see your slot engage right there. He knows the ball's coming to him, but still, this is our running back converted to quarterback here, running full speed through a big open void. So it makes you look good as a play caller whenever you can get those scenarios. All right. Staying simple, and look at our wing go. He stays tight. Could he be tighter? Absolutely. But he stays tight and goes down to the backside backer, is able to get an advantage block on the backside backer. Okay, now the kick man is very wide. And so the pull kick guy doesn't even see the man he's supposed to kick. Okay, ends up working up just fine. Okay, he's run himself out of the play by coming from such depth that he's unable to fall inside and make the play. So the designed cutback part of buck sweep here really protects you against that type of stuff. Now here, really scary ball security. We're kind of juggling the ball here, way outside of the framework of our body, but overall here able to get a good play in a first down. All right, come through. We wanted to show some we wanted to create some opportunities where we bring our wing across, okay, and we're not always going to where we bring the wing to. So if you always bring your wing across and it's always quick belly, okay, people catch on to that. Okay, if you always bring your wing across and it's always sprint out passing game behind it, people catch on to that. So this is a situation where we're in a restricted formation, we're bringing jet motion across. Everything about our scouting report should say that we're about to run quick belly with our quarterback. And so we brought the wing across here and ran GT counter back the other direction to try to create some situations where we break tendency. And now we're actually able to get our guard. Okay, the guy flies upfield, so didn't even need to kick him. He runs himself out of the play. And our tackle is able to come through and find some work on a player that falls off of the play. So it's always good whenever you can run your starting running back, okay, against the corner. Okay, those guys they're not on the field to stop run game usually. So we're very happy that we're able to get the ball one-on-one with the corner here. Could we have stuck the blocks a little bit better? Absolutely here, but still winning football. Okay, we're back to our two-back set. We want to try to get our senior a touchdown here, so we're calling outside zone here. Our wing is on the wrong side. Had he been in speed over here and worked a reach block to the perimeter, We would have gotten our senior a touchdown on this. Okay, just an MA here, misalignment from our our freshman wingback. Now the issue is with putting a slot back here in the backfield is that he's a speed and space guy. He's not a run you over guy. So here on the goal line, our running back probably runs through here and goes and scores, but our slot here kind of gets stoned, going one on one with the linebacker in the hole. So unfortunately stopped on the one there. We just want to punch it in. Okay, we just got stopped at the 1 yard line. I don't always love calling buck sweep on the 1 yard line. I like to stick to things where you're solid on the front side, like power or GT. But here in this scenario, we did call cannon. Now they do run somebody through and he makes it, but he's just no, he does actually stop us here. Okay, and I'm just remembering what happens on this drive, so I'm getting a little sad here. But they end up running somebody through. Cannon on the goal line is, I'm sorry, Cannon. Buck sweep on the goal line here is a tough call because these backers are almost certainly coming here in a cover zero type mindset. And so this is a play call that I do not suggest and would not call again if I was given this game plan again. Buck sweep on the goal line here just creates a lot of scenarios where people can run through and tackle you for a loss. Now this is 4th down, and so we decided to go under center, which is something we don't do a lot, but we decided to go under center and try to do a little tush push. And again, as coaches, sometimes I think we overcomplicate things and we try to fix problems that aren't really there. We tried to silent sneak this, okay, and we're not a big snap count variation team. And so we go up to the line and we had the quarterback make a call and the center would wait 1001, 1002, and then snap it. Our guard here, our quick guard, forgets that the snap count is silent for this play. And so we get a good initial push from our center, okay, but without our guard able to get a push against the nose here, he's able to go through and stop us here on 4th and 1 on a tush push. So my advice here would be, don't try to fix problems that aren't there. Okay, we did not need a silent count to run tush push, from the 1 yard line. Okay, we just needed the push, and so here, I'll take this one on the chin that we should have kept the snap count the same as every other play that we were doing. So that way our guard can fire off and we could have pushed this pile into the end zone here. Okay, unfortunate. Okay, we've had 2 drives stall down here on the goal line on this end. Okay, this is a bugaboo end zone for us. Okay, we had the fumble by our second string running back this game, and then we had a failed tush push attempt because our card didn't get off the ball. So unfortunate last couple drives here. Coming back, again, we're trying to get the ball to our slot receiver. This is going into the half. We wanted to call a screen on the very first play to see if we could spring a big one before we started chunking balls into the end zone. And so here we run our jailbreak screen where we bubble and return. We do catch a decent alley, but we're just unable to really get man on man here, unable to really get man on man from our guard as well. Our strong guard doesn't take his sidewalk path to where the kick man goes and kicks the man over the slot. The sidewalk guy works up into the alley. Our guard here works vertical way too soon. Okay, we need him on this path behind the kick out man for jailbreak screen here. So missed assignment out of the quick guard, but still we have enough people to get bodies on bodies here. Just unable to get it done. Luckily, the receiver just makes us look good. Okay, he slips a play, slips 2 guys right there, and is able to get vertical and get out of bounds here. So it's exactly what we were looking for. Just spring a good one before you have to start chunking balls into the end zone. Just a few seconds left here, so you see we're getting massively off coverage. They're playing 1 guy low and 1 guy high over our big outside receiver. Here we're calling fade out. Okay, just trying to get our guys an opportunity to get into the end zone. Now, Um, I don't love this technique from the quarterback here. Um, Quarterback just kind of flips the ball out here to the tight end. This is a situation where he either needs to run it and I can call a timeout, or throw it away. Okay, live to fight another day. Okay, had I known they were going to align like this before the snap, okay, I definitely wouldn't have called fade out. This is a terrible leverage to throw the fade out into. Okay, you're running it out into horrible leverage. You're running it out into horrible leverage. But regardless, quarterback either needs to run the ball or deliver the ball like a pass. Didn't need to look like that. Overcomplicated a little. Okay, the next play here looks like it's starting at the end. This is like the last play before half, by the way. Um, I Our teaching point for these guys. Okay, so when you're trying to run a tempo play, trying to run to the line and run a play fast before the end of the half, um, you really want your guys to get into the end zone. And so even though we have fade out called, okay, what we said was we would really like for you guys to push into the end zone and then try to work out. On a last play of the game type situation, last play before the half type situation, because the 5 yard out isn't going to help us with 0 seconds on the clock. Okay, it's very unlikely that you're going to catch the ball and go score from the 5 yard out. So that's something that you'll need to certainly practice in your 2 minute drills. On your very last play, okay, you probably have a very limited menu of things you can verbally call from the sideline. And so you want your kids to have a good understanding of, this is the last play. I've got to get into the end zone on my out route. All right. First play of the second half here starts way after the play had already started. No idea what happened there. Okay, going into the next one here, now we're just running power. Okay, I don't love the insert by the wing. Here the wing should see that the C gap is filled. Okay, so he knows the tackle is going to base out on the C gap player, and so he needs to fold a gap further into the B gap. Okay, again, freshmen are going to do freshman things. He wanted to go inside the tight end's out block, but he needs to know that tackle is going to occupy that space on his out block and needs to go a gap further. So freshman here inserts in a bad spot. Ends up not being able to make an impactful block. We needed to go 1-for-1 on these two guys. Okay, this guy is not a guy on power that you need to be working to specifically. Okay, in this scenario, that's the tight end's out block. Okay, this is a 2-in call from our tight end. Still able to fall forward and gain 8 yards. Can't ever be mad at that. Okay, kind of alternating power and buck sweep. Okay, now we're running buck sweep after we just ran power, trying to give the lineman a different feel. And look at our tight end on his down block, man. Really good. Missed this kid a lot. Okay, really good job setting the edge for us. That's awesome. Okay, our freshman wing again. Could he be tighter off the down block? Absolutely. But he's following a good path, getting the backside backer, using his body as a shield to occupy the space that the back wants to get into. So really, really good right there. Okay. Our back gets vertical behind the kick, gets behind the pulling guard. I'd like to see him have a little bit more patience and not cut so quickly in here and really push into that back and make your cut late. That's a feel thing. Some kids are going to be better at it than others. Okay, but this is a situation where if this guy wants to fall inside, then just go out here and go score. Okay, you're one-on-one with that guy. So is it perfect? Absolutely not. Okay, but still really good run right there. And buck sweep again, just had a big play. Okay, my wing right here I feel like is late. Okay, there should be no space in between you and the tight end's down block. Here, he either needs to bypass because this is a loose end, okay, or he needs to be so tight to it, okay, that he's able to push it into the wall. Okay, we don't want there to be a gap in between you and the tight end because that muddies up who the kick man is supposed to get. Okay, here we end up blocking the man the wing's supposed to down block on. Our pull wrap guy ends up kind of pulling up into a lot of traffic in here because they got so many guys on the line of scrimmage. So a little bit ugly right here. Luckily, our back kind of bounces it around the traffic, makes somebody miss on the perimeter. Something you can't teach, right? So good job working his fundamentals. Okay, we try to run the letter L, work them flat across the quarterback's face and hit vertical whenever they go to set the edge. Okay, so this is our back in action, working the footwork that we talk about all the time. So he's done this 100 times, even though he doesn't get as many carries as other people in the game. Okay, this is a kid who's been coached a lot in practice. Okay, come and run GT. Okay, so we called buck sweep on the goal line earlier on, and they were able to run through on us. So now, as we're getting closer, we're inside the 10-yard line now. We're calling GT, which makes us solid on the front side, so we have a much smaller chance that people are going to run through against us. Um, Here, again, our back is a little too fast for me on what we're trying to get for GT. I would like to see him work out and back. Okay, when we have our regular starting running back in the game, he does a much better rep out of it. But here, he's so excited to get the ball. Okay, down here on the goal line, he's a little quick, but he's able to get the ball and get it into the end zone. So our guard and tackle still aren't on different levels like I would like. But luckily, even though this end is kind of slow playing us out here, and we kind of end up missing them with the kick man, okay, that they were so worried about not getting kicked that they were too passive when the back actually got there. Now, this backer should, in theory, fall in and make the play, but a lot of times when that vertical step happens, okay, when your kids know how to run buck sweep, okay, you can run past those guys getting too wide. Okay, so good job by that kid doing what he's coached to do. Okay, again, we're running jet sweep down here on the end zone. Okay, thinking that they were going to try to run vertical through the gaps to come and get us, and they did. Okay, they want to run through and try to catch us pulling guards. Okay, now, do I think our technique on our reach blocks are very good? No, we need our guard to, again, run through the A gap to the second level. Okay, don't work backwards on jet sweep. Always work to the quick side gap. And if there's nobody's in the quick side gap to reach, then run through to the backers. Here, we make the same mistake again where we work backwards on jet sweep and we give up pressure from the linebackers running through. So, again, I think the play call is fine. And even though it looks scary because we miss a block here from our tackle and we have a missed assignment here from our guard, okay, it looks spooky. But jet sweep around the goal line, generally speaking, allows you to run around inside pressure where people are trying to be over aggressive. Now here, Slot needs to cut his split down when he sees this type of stance. This stance to me says, I am coming. Okay, I'm coming to get it. So align for success, okay, against a guy who you know absolutely is about to rip off the edge. Okay, here he's just a little bit passive. Okay, he needs to come and get inside and stop penetration immediately. Okay, luckily the back cleans it up and we're able to get into the end zone with some tough running. Okay, but a kind of a muddy look here on the goal line. Okay, but that's where hard-nosed football players make their money. Okay, we're out here and we are in a speed set. We have our wing over on the quick side, and what we're trying to do on this drive is reward our senior tight end with some wing reps. Okay, he's wanting to be put in a situation where he doesn't have his hand on the ground, and so we have our backup tight end here at tight end, and we have our regular starting tight end, our senior, here playing wing. And it's not well executed from him. Okay, this is his first game he's played in several weeks, and so his rules are pretty iffy on what he's supposed to be doing. Here we're running quick belly. The tackle should block out, and the wing should wrap inside here in a speed set. And here they kind of run into each other. The wing tries to interact with the guy we're out blocking on, and we aren't able to get a good insert onto the backer. So you're trying to go one guy on two with your strong guard pulling into the hole, which is bad numbers for you. So the running back certainly could make an impactful block here, but we kind of set a pick on the tackle with the wing here and let the end run free. So whenever you start moving guys around, okay, you're asking for this type of confusion in your blocking assignments here. Okay, we run hammer. Hammer is GT for us. Now, again, we would like for our tight end to be more decisive on whether this guy's inside of you or not. Okay, here he looks like he does a pretty good job, better than normal, of being able to step to the blocker with his front foot, get his head across, can turn his hips to the hole. Now, we don't want him to ease up at that point, right? We want him to continue to run his feet and run him down the line. But you see that even our backup tight end here, who struggled early in the season, is getting better as the season is going on at being able to execute his technique. They do end up running a guy through here. He just kind of squeezes through a gap that really looks like nothing. He's really having to stop his momentum to the point where he's unable to make a super impactful run through. Okay, but he does end up hitting pay dirt here. Our back probably needs a little bit more burst of speed here. He fumbled the ball earlier in the game, and he just had some questionable ball security on the play before this. And so we're screaming at him to hold the ball with two hands. And so he's really focused on not fumbling right now, which you can't be too mad at. He's a little slow, but he's earning the yards the defense is giving to us. So now we come back to quick belly. Okay, we had a conversation with the wing from the sideline that he has to insert inside to run quick belly. So now we're able to run the quarterback vertical through that gap. This is the type of run we were looking to get early. Okay, really good void right there. Tackle does a great job of getting his hips in the hole. Guard does a pretty good job of running this guy by all the way down to the tight end level. Our guard makes the trip really well and really quickly. Okay, so this is pretty well executed right here. Okay, now our tight end, okay, so I'm sorry, our wing, okay, is a little bit confused about where to line up in speed. Here he's lining up in a trip set, so he's kind of in the way a little bit of what we're trying to do with this perimeter pass to our slot. You can see he's pointing like he's not sure exactly where he's supposed to line up. Yeah, we want you to line up there to work a reach block up to the backer. Okay, but here he's lining up in trips and kind of muddying up what we want. Now our back here, our slot here is still working outside receiver footwork, which is not what we want. The outside receiver is a little bit confused because we're in trips and we're not supposed to be. So he's not sure if he's really supposed to be down here for this bubble. So again, we're making our plays a little bit harder because we're trying to reward a kid that we really like with a position that he wants to play. And so is this run the way it was designed? No, absolutely not. Still got to catch the football, though. Still got to catch the football. Okay, we get an empty. Okay, we made a mishap trying to throw the ball out here. So now we're just going to take our quarterback, who right now is our best athlete, and just abuse the ball in empty running to the strong side. So here, our tight end and wing. Tight end does a pretty good job of knowing to avoid the man outside of him. Okay, our wing here is a little slow, but still gets a good push because this guy's, I would assume, coached to spill the puller. So when he reads the down block here, that he's trying to get inside of the pull kick, which makes it a really good leverage block for your wing. So here we're running just straight ahead with the quarterback, and we got all this room to work with. And once he gets running, this kid's is hard to tackle one-on-one. Okay, he wants contact. Now, certainly you don't want your tight end to do the flyby block right here. You want him to get on somebody, but he's getting better one step at a time. That's all you can do. All right, this play starts in the middle of the play, but this is still empty strong. Our running back is over here, and we're running with our quarterback vertical through buck sweep. Here again, you can just see just a ton of space to run through. You can't see exactly how it's set up here. But again, really productive football play when you can get 8 yards. Looks like we had a hold here. So we're going backwards. So now we're at 3rd and long. We wanted to, again, get the ball to our slot on an easy play. So that way he could get to the perimeter and make somebody miss here on 3rd down and forever. Okay, we didn't want to force it downfield when they've really been double covering and triple covering our big jump ball vertical threat kid. So here we just try to run just a simple bubble concept to get the ball to a fast kid on the perimeter. We really want him to expand from slot. Okay, run the bubble. He's going to pin this guy down. Okay, and we'll take our one-on-one with this guy to see if we can get the first down. Again, this kid, he has been practicing from the outside, so he's having a tough time transitioning to taking the quick perimeter screens from the slot. Here, had he bubbled, okay, it would have been much better leverage for us to seal this with the X receiver and get something one-on-one with the corner. Okay, here he catches it, works inside. Okay, is unable to really get much out of it because of the missed footwork. Okay, this is where we decided that we needed to start rolling the quarterback both directions here because now we're stuck on the right hash. Okay, it's 4th down and forever. We don't really want to punt from the 26-yard line. But, what play do you call here? Well, you want to run sprint out pass to throw the ball vertical so that way you have time to throw it because they're bringing pressure. And so we could only sprint to the right here. And so this is our last time we kind of get stuck having to sprint to the right. Here, the quarterback knows that he wants our big receiver, okay, running vertical to try to get the first down. You can't see much. Okay, the guy had a chance to make it. It was been a toe tap catch on the sideline in the end zone. It would have been a really good catch for him, but the quarterback put it ultimately in a spot that only his receiver could catch it, and we weren't able to come up with it. But overall, it would have been a much better play had we been able to flip it and run sprint out to the quarterback's left, okay, and have this back pylon have a lot more space to throw to. So we end up changing how we think about sprint out pass to where we sprint out both directions after this game. Okay, new drive. Here we're running just straight quick belly, no motion. Okay, just running the ball straight vertical with our big quarterback here, our converted running back. And here he's just running by guys and, man, has a really good highlight play right here. Okay, our tackle dominates the end. Okay, our strong guard wraps through, makes it all the way to the C gap. Not quite able to make it all the way around the bend here. Okay, but our running back is able to identify that the B gap is closed and to work out. Okay, there's really no inside backer to speak of because he kind of runs himself into traffic here. And so our quarterback makes a heck of a play right here. Unfortunate that we got it called back here because of a penalty. So penalty, first down and forever. So we decided to go ahead and take a shot here. Do we have incredible leverage? No, but what we do have is a guy who's just staring into the backfield. So we really felt like we could run past this guy and make a play. He had been doing this, and so our coaches are in my ear telling me throw the deep ball, throw the deep ball. So here it is, and our guy ends up making almost another incredible head top play. He's really good at this one-on-one, going up and high pointing the football and taking it away from people. Here he almost got another one here in a one-on-one scenario. Second down, here we come and try to run crisscross here to our tight end playing wing here, our senior tight end. We're trying to reward with some wing reps. Now, he is not prepared to run this play. You can see he's very nervous. He's already eyes inside looking for the double handoff here, kind of giving it away. And you can just tell that I probably tried to do a little bit too much with the play call here, trying to get my senior the ball in a play where he can go in and make something out of it. So here our tight end doesn't pull. Okay, it's our backup tight end. Our tight end doesn't pull wrap, which we need him to on this play, okay, to run through the alley here. Also, our wing needs to catch the ball and get vertical, okay, behind the kick. Okay, we need definitely more contact here on the kick out man. Okay, but overall, he's not used to getting the crisscross handoff. Here he drops it, and we had to fall on it here to take another pretty big loss when we're already in second and forever. So third down and absolute infinity. Okay, here we're just running buck sweep, try to get this drive over with, get a little extra room to punt. Here again, our backup tight end 45 is not doing a good job at staying on his down block. He wants the combination where he chips and works to the second level and do both things that we teach him at the same time. This is really critical film for us to show him that he needs to stay on his down block so that way we can run wider than him. Okay, we'll work the wing up to the second level. You stay on that guy because no one's going to pick him up after you don't have him anymore. Here we're running the ball one-on-one at the corner. It's a little bit of a muddy play here. This guy kind of wrong shoulders us. We have the snap on the ground, so our timing is really bad off. Okay, pretty ugly setup here, but our back is able to get something out of it, salvage something. Okay, we punt after that. This is the next drive. Okay, we're just trying to run the quarterback here. We feel like the most effective thing we're doing at this point in the game is just running the quarterback on quick belly with no motion straight at the defense. So that's what we're doing right here. Okay, get in speed, wrap your wing inside the quick guard. Okay, we'll wrap the strong guard in the same hole, ISO with your running back, and we just have a massive void to run through here. And our big, strong, converted running back into quarterback here is getting massive chunks with it. We come right back to it, same concept. Okay, just flipped it and run it the other way. Here it looks like we lose at center. Yeah, so at center we want to block backside here. Okay, it looks like this backer walks up and he's just guessing and jumping into a gap here, and he's able to hit home. We would like for our tackle to step inside and cut this off, and our guard to step inside and cut this off and create a mini wall right here of two people. Here, our tackle read the wrong wristband play. He thought it was freeze. He thought there was no play. And so he is just sitting there thinking that we just jumped off sides, and really we snapped the ball. So not a good setup there from our backside. Okay, the backside backer is able to run through here. Luckily, our quarterback runs his feet and is able to get a hard-earned 3. So here we come back and run GT. Okay, pretty good job here by our tight end getting his hips turned. I like to see a little bit more drive out of this. Okay, but still he's able to get his hips in the gap that he knows he want to run through. Okay, we're able to get a good kick out on the perimeter on a corner who's backpedaling. We're able to get a good wrap from a linebacker who's a little nosy for the quarterback run game on the other side. And we're able to get all the way down to, it looks like about the 2-yard line here. Oh, looks like we went backwards here. And I think this is very close to the end of the game here. And so I think this is just a couple minutes left here. We try to throw a jailbreak screen. And here the outside receiver doesn't need to try to block the man over the slot. Okay, this is a missed assignment by him. We're going to take the tackle and block this guy. We'd rather him go to the corner or crack to the safety depending on how they align here, depending on what our game plan is that week. But here we have a little bit of a miscommunication between the X receiver and the tackle, who's supposed to do what. But here their defensive line is just not aggressively rushing. And so your jailbreak screens are not going to hit like you want them to if your defensive linemen aren't actually trying to penetrate towards the quarterback. So here after the big penalty, we just try to throw a screen out here to maybe hit a seam. Unable to really hit it because of the defensive lineman being able to run through. And they weren't over aggressive, so your jailbreak screen is going to be a little bit muddy. But that is the last play that we have on film from this one. Going back, okay, I think the shotgun wing tee is really good in the scenarios where you have a very difficult setup as far as a tight end and wing to stop run plays against going to the strong side. And when you have big receivers that are mismatches and guys that are quick that can outrun you, like our slot receiver, it really puts the defense in a bind. And what do you want to take away? And so this was a football game where I thought we did a really good job of establishing strong side run game, okay, establishing the quarterback on the quick side run game, and also being able to get the ball out to the perimeter. Even though from our slot it wasn't executed exactly the way we want it to, okay, he was able to make the plays that we needed him to make for the most part. And so overall, I'm not excited about the way we ran buck sweep on the goal line. I'm not excited about the way we overthought the tush push on the goal line by trying to make it a silent sneak. So had I been able to do this game again, those would be the things I would get away from. If you like this video, Thank you. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.